And let's go with Daniel, San Jose, California. KFAX is the station. Hi, Daniel. How are you today?
Okay. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have two nieces. I'm going to be spending Christmas by myself because most of my family's dead. And I have a brother that doesn't talk to me. And I have two nieces that don't communicate with me. And so I would like more advice, or like some advice on how to deal with two nieces. A long time ago, I wrote, when her mother died, I wrote her a letter and asked her if she wanted me in her life anymore. Not a letter, but a birthday card, because I didn't know what to do. So I've listened to some things. My question is, am I supposed to reach out more to them and expect them to reach out to me? Because I'm confused as, am I being a burden to them? Am I being intruding on their lives by trying to want them to communicate with me? Am I asking too much? Is that
how old are they?
I'm
Daniel, how old are your nieces?
They're. See, I'm not really sure right now.
Okay, young adults.
Probably one's in her young adults. One's probably in her late 20s, and the other one's in her early 20s. They're 4 years apart. So if one's
okay,
23, the other one would be 27.
Okay, and have you had a history of relationship with them? And then it fell off, or have you never had relationship with them?
I can't say that I've ever had a relationship with them. I would go down there for their birthday parties when they were young.
Okay.
I would go down there, and I would go down for...
Okay, so a few times a year, yeah.
Down there.
So
yeah.
Is your brother their dad?
No.
No, okay.
No, it was my sister. My sister was their mother.
Okay.
And she died in 2014 from... I won't go into that.
Okay. So, but they're pretty much the only family you have, is what you're telling me, us.
Pretty much.
Okay.
My brother doesn't talk to me, so I try and communicate him. He won't respond to me for months on end unless I get a phone call from the hospital saying that he's in the hospital. So, and my parents weren't. My parents were both abused when they were growing up, so there wasn't any affection, as much affection as I needed to believe that I'm lovable and of value.
You know, Daniel, with your nieces and you know the ages they are, they're kind of off, you know, young adults kind of starting their lives. I would probably, you know, send them a Christmas card. And, you know, all we can do is invite people into relationship. We can't force it. And I would just say, you know, you're some of my only family. I just want you to know that I desire to have, you know, relationship with you in whatever form, you know, that looks like or feels comfortable to you. And, you know, I would love to spend time with you girls, you know, if you were willing. You know, and just put it out there as an invitation. And then I would send it off. But, Daniel, I wouldn't sit around waiting and hoping, right? You invite people, you know, periodically, you know, then if you don't hear back, their birthdays, you can wish them a happy birthday. And then, you know, this is where we really have to draw people in, non-family members, to be family. This is where, when we're involved in a local church, when we're in a support group, those are the people, you know, that we have to start living day-to-day life with, and not counting on, you know, distant family members, especially two young girls in their 20s, you know, who are off maybe figuring out what they're doing in life. They're, you know, usually older, and I'm assuming you're older than them, older family members. Aren't necessarily, sadly, always the top priority.
Right.
Well, I'm curious why these nieces are this important to you? That may sound weird, but if you question whether or not you're a burden on them, and so if I could see them being important to you if you guys are really close and all, but it just seems, some aunts and uncles, nieces, nephews are close and some aren't. Why are these two so very important to you?
Good question. I'm not sure exactly. I think part of it is that I need someone to probably validate me and say I'm okay.
Are they the only ones in your
them.
life? Are they the only people in your life that you have to do that with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have an older brother who has a son, and the son, I think, is autistic or has Asperger. And the son doesn't even use a cell phone. He doesn't even like using a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the same
are
thing
you?
with
So
him.
I guess you're not married. Is that what you're saying? You're not married and you don't have your own kids. Is that right?
I've never been married.
Okay.
I've never
Mine
been
would-
into
well,
a relationship.
Let me just say, because Steve, I think you're onto something good. If you're looking for validation from these nieces, I think you're going to be hurt. Because, and
That's why
I'm
I'm calling for
wondering,
some advice.
yeah, I'm wondering if because your sister passed away, that some of your connection to them is a reminder of your sister, and maybe wanting to
Yeah,
hold on
that's
to
what I was
that
wondering, too.
relationship, right? And you might even
Oh,
tell the
okay.
girls that. I
Well,
realize.
I was wondering if their memory of their mother, I might be bringing up a memory of their mother that they don't want to experience.
I don't know about that. But I think that that's part of the draw to them. And you might even say that I realize because, you guys, to me, represent my sister. I'm, drawn to wanting to maintain connection to you. And just let them know that.
Yeah. Well, the other question is, no, I forgot what I was thinking here. Maybe they, I forgot what I was going to say now. Okay.
Daniel, you said that if I were to initiate a relationship with them, I might be a burden to them. And it was curious to me because I'm wondering how much you've felt yourself to be a burden to other people. You indicated your parents were not loving or affectionate, and they really didn't meet your needs. And so I could see how and why you'd want to keep family close or try to find family members that are closer. But how much and how long have you been feeling like a burden to others if you enter into a relationship with them?
Oh, I'm very fearful of being a burden to other people.
Okay.
I am so needy and so lacking in affection. My parents, we didn't know this, but my parents never touched me when I was growing up, and I'm so needy for being touched and hugged that I'm even fearful of being around people because I'm so needy. I had one person that I was working on being friends with, and I could just see myself wanting to call him every day or every week, and I could just drain somebody real easily because I'm so needy and wanting affection and needing the affection.
Right.
That I'm fearful of being around people.
Daniel, thank you for that great insight. And there's another word that we could use here another word besides affection, and that is attention. To have somebody sit down and listen to you, ask you questions, be a part of your life, allow you to speak into their life. What Jill said a little while ago is really important, that we have to have more than just blood relatives to fill out and fulfill our lives. Some of the closest people to me are non-family members. Some of the most distant people in my life are family members. And so I know you're trying to hold on to family, but it was wonderful how Jesus said, these are my mothers and brothers and sisters, the people here who do the will of God. And that is when his family was outside trying to get him to pull away from his public ministry. And he said, no, these people. And then the night before he died, he was with his disciples. He wasn't with his mom and brothers. So building a relationship where you start to normalize relationships so that when you're around them, you're not so needy. If nobody...
Well, can I just interject there? Sorry. No, you're on a thought. You go.
Well, I'm using your word needy. If I only have one person, then I can, to your words, drain that. But if we have a lot of friends, then we're not starving to death. If a person is starving, they're just gonna be ravenous about getting anything they can to eat. And so that's why I think what Jill said was really important. You need to have friends in church and more friends and places to serve and really get to know one another.
Well, and you made my point, so we were tracking. Is that, in that fear, sometimes we want to find one person and then we latch onto them. And one person cannot be everything.
Right.
And especially in adulthood, right? When we're young, a mom or a dad can be everything. That can't happen in adulthood. You have to have multiple friends that meet, different needs, and that's how we get our needs met. And so to be aware of that, you kind of spread the need out. And what you mentioned about serving, a lot of times it's like we're so needy, it's like we're looking to get, and people can feel that. When you're trying to extract from people, they feel that. But if you start off by giving and serving, you'll be amazed at how much comes back to you.
Right.
I'm not thinking that at this stage you're going to have some major breakthrough in life. But let me tell you what I think is the biggest chance of you having a breakthrough when it comes to other relationships. And that is that you would get into a counseling situation where people would understand, the therapist would understand autism, Asperger's, just isolation issues, anything that might be the reason that you are distant, that you've never married, and that you are wanting a family connection like this. If you don't get into counseling, I go to counseling. It helps me so much. But if you don't get into a counseling situation for whatever reason, then it's going to be really hard for you in the last half of your life to develop some connection and depth in your relationship that'll really, really mean so much to you. The fact that you want this from them says to me, you really do long for a deeper, richer connection with people. And so I'm just going to ask you to hold on. Let's see if we can find a counselor for you that could really be a benefit. And in your area, there are so many in the Northern California, San Jose area. So many great counselors there.